with both men having seen an opportunity toward a world title. This third fight between Anthony Yarde and Lyndon Arthur is a trilogy unspoken. One of these men are going to ascend to a higher ground. Let's talk about their upcoming fight on the undercard of Eubank versus Ben. As one of the featured bouts on the undercard of Fatal Fury, Ben versus Eubank, Eubank versus Ben, Anthony Yarde and Lyndon Arthur are coming together for the third time. Their first two fights went totally different, and both men have incurred various experiences both at the championship level as well as the comeback level to find themselves once again staring one another down. In order to advance, they are going to have to pass one another in the sport of boxing. Now, this is something that maybe in the rest of the world, it may not be important, but both men coming out of the UK, this means a lot. It means bragging rights. And for a fighter like Lyndon Arthur, an experienced veteran, who happens to be one of the most patient, calculating technical boxers in the light heavyweight division, it's an opportunity for him to make or break himself. And because he is familiar with Yarde, he could do some things that are different that he may not take the chances against other opponents. And in the case of Yarde, who is an aggressive fighter, he's very unorthodox, but has a solid punch. He can clean you up very well, as Arthur knows when they faced one another in their second bout, which saw him get stopped inside of 4 rounds against Anthony Yarde. And their first fight, Yarde picked and poked and probed and was uncertain of himself. It took place in December of 2020. And it was for the Commonwealth Boxing Council Light Heavyweight and WBO Intercontinental Light Heavyweight Championships. And what it means for this third fight between both guys, since they split their first 2 meetings, risks are going to have to be taken. In both bouts, there were not many risks taken for the combatants. What we saw in the first fight was a technical fight. It was a little slow. We saw Arthur controlling the fight pretty much, and Yarde was not really willing to dive in, a little bit uncertain. But in the second fight, we saw Yarde open up with more of his power punches. And as I said, he's a guy who's a bit unorthodox. So sometimes he can catch you a little clean, and sometimes he can catch you sleeping. So the third fight is really going to be a make or break type scenario. And I can see either man winning the fight because in the case of Lyndon Arthur, he's coming in and his record now is 24-2 with 16 KOs. And he is the type of fighter that he can lull you to sleep with his style. He has enough pop on his punches to maintain respect, but he also gives fighters the flux because of his patience and because of his technical ability. Now in the case of Yarde, he's now 26-3 with 24 KOs. And see, this is what I mean sometimes about it's not always good just knocking guys out, but to understand what boxing is about and to be able to provide a technical sense of controlling fights and winning fights that can go beyond you stopping someone. So has Yarde closed the gap in that area? Because Arthur is definitely the better boxer. We just don't know where the confidence will be with both men. They're both 33 years of age. Arthur has a 2-inch height advantage at 6'2". And the undercard, the rest of it, is a really fine undercard, which will have the return of Liam Smith and Chev Clark and Chris Billum Smith. All of this on the undercard of Fatal Fury. What do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know your thoughts about Fatal Fury. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.